Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video review, I want to talk about Ethereum. Alright, so this is one of the coin, if you have been following the crypto market for last 3-4 weeks or about a month, this is one of the coin that have been very strong even in the downtrend. When overall market is selling off insanely, this coin was pretty much holding up on its own. So which really tells you couple of things, that there are not enough seller of Ethereum out there, and when the rebound comes with the overall market, this coin will make new highs, or at least get out of this consolidation pattern with a nice uptick. All right, so before we get into Ethereum, before we do a deep dive into Ethereum technical analysis, if you are new to the channel, please give me a thumbs up, please like the video, please subscribe and hit those notifications, so every time when I post the content you will get them right away. I post new content every day, so please support the channel by doing so. I see a lot of viewers coming onto the channel, so just hit those like button, so that will actually tell the Google, or sorry, not Google, but the YouTube algorithm that you like this content, and it will show you similar type of content that you can learn. And the more we can share this content to a bigger community, that actually is helping you as well as the other investors as well, because that prevent us from buying this crazy leg up without any consolidation and then drop down. So if you're thinking that I just want to gain this knowledge just to by myself and I want to keep it to myself, trust me, that will not help you. Other investors in the cryptocurrency space, they also need to learn this kind of investment strategies, this kind of technical trading, in order to have boom and bust. So what we are trying to do here is educate user like you, not to get into a situation where you're buying at all-time high and then next thing you realize it completely drops. So we have to and the more people know about this thing, it will be better for the overall market. Trust me on that. So it's really one of those things that the more you spread, the better it will get for you as well. So if you have good knowledge, please do share, just like I'm doing here. All right, so let's get it started in Ethereum. So this is the daily Ethereum against dollar. Then the data is coming from Bitfinex. All right, so let me blow this up a little bit here. Ethereum initially broke out. Let me zoom out of this. Okay, so initially it broke out back in December time frame. November time frame, right around mid-November it initially broke out. Since then it went to all-time high back in around Thanksgiving time. It's consolidated nicely, then it had another breakout in mid-December. Since then another breakout, so it's been in a nice uptrend. So when you have this 2-3 repetitive breakouts, you can tell that there is some consolidation is coming in the market or in that asset class. So you keep that in mind. So when you have this this first breakout, second breakout, third breakout, almost try to do this fourth one here and did not work. So keep those things in mind. When you have consistently one after another consistent breakout, the chart or the people, it will take some time to digest those gains. In order to make this room, in order to make the all-time high, you constantly need additional buyers to come into it. Okay, so because what's going to happen is people who bought it here in November time frame, they're sitting right now on almost 200% gains, 200-300% gains, and they want to sell it, right? I mean, at least if they're smarter investors, or if they're investing with a lot of money, I'm pretty sure they pulled out their initial investment at this leg up high, somewhere around this leg up high, because that tells you a lot of the big money is already out of it for right now, who got in early enough. And what you are now, in order to have another leg up, you will need the new set of investor to come into this asset class, into this coin, as to make it push make it push to all-time high and like break that all-time high. So since then the overall market has been consolidating. You know, there's a big downtick. We try to break, if you can see this price level, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit more. If you see this 900 price level, where is this? Okay, so right around 900 zone, okay, right around 900, 920, we had a good support. We've been like, you know, bouncing off that support a couple of times, you know, right around that 900 to 950 price zone. All right, so that's the support that, like, you know, there was a previous resistance, if you can see previous resistance, and now that has become a support. And there's a one before that is right around 863. Okay, right around 863. So between that, it tells you, like, you know, there is enough interest for new or existing Ethereum investors to come into the market and start new position or add on to their position for longer term. All right, so those are the support levels on the downside. And and if you see this thing, it first, when it initially came down to 900, it went right back up. We had this reversal signal on the downside. It tried to go again to 900. It did not. It could not break that previous low, and it went right back up. So if you see those tails on this two, on 122, 123, that tells you that, you know, at this price level there is enough buyers who are trying to get into Ethereum coin. All right, at right around 912, there are enough buyers who thinks that 912 is a good value or a good price to get into Ethereum at $912, because every time when it was coming at this zone, people are keep buying it up and pushing it up. It came down to 900, people bought in and pushed it up. So that's a good level to watch, especially if you are investing for long term, or if you want to have another position that you want to add if the overall market comes down. All right, I'm not saying that it will, because it's looking pretty bullish right now, and I have a feeling there will be another push up, not down. All right, so right now we are, that level is holding up. I see there's a like let me make this thing here. So I see there's like you know, double bottom, if you will. There's one right here. Where is this? So right at this price point. Okay, this one is the first one, and this one is the second one, right around that 900 point. I'm not able to I don't want to screw up my previous trend line, so I'm not going to like, you know, just mark it here. But if you can see my pointer, it's right around that 900 mark. That happened on 118, and the second time it happened around 122. So in the short term, there are double bottom here at that price level, which is around $900. Since then, we recently try to break out of this trend line that was coming down from the 115 mark. We try to break out. Right now we are sitting in this pattern where it's trying to, like, you know, make this consolidation, and it's trying to hold up. It's pretty much trying to hold up right now, and if the overall market turns, I have a feeling this will go have a nice uptick. The confirmation the confirmation that we like to see is the higher volume. So if we have this another green uptick, another green up candle up here, we want to see the higher volume to confirm that, you know, that leg up is sustainable. All right, so always look at the volume to make a confirmation that this leg up is sustainable, and we can have possible higher high for Ethereum. Okay, for right now it's at right as it's like, you know, the resistance level, which was the previous support. So I'm going to mark that down for you. Okay. All right. So right around 1100, we have the resistance, and which was the previous support, now the resistance. All right, we tried to push that toward, we had a push all the way toward that level today, but it the seller came in and they took the profits, just because there's a lot of choppy action going on. People are becoming almost like a day trader rather than a longer term investor, just because there is a lot of choppy action going on, and the overall market is not able to decide on the direction. One thing I want to mention, I have mentioned that in my previous video, is like, the future contract for Bitcoin is going to expire. The first batch of future contract is going to expire tomorrow afternoon. So we will see the new contract get introduced soon, and like that will dictate the prices. I still don't think there is enough volume. There's not going to be enough volume in Bitcoin future. As I mentioned that in my previous video, I also trade futures. I have mentioned that in my previous videos that I trade futures, and if you can see the volume in the futures, there are not enough institutional investors in the Bitcoin future just as of right now, because there's not enough data for them to come in and put their money to work for an asset or for a coin or a futures that does not have enough data. This future contract is only 1 month old right now, so they need enough data in order to be sure enough to come into the market and put their money to work. All right, so right now in the futures market, you have a lot of smaller investors, smaller traders, not the large institutional future traders. So I want to make it clear, because I see the chatter online that futures traders are manipulating the prices, but I can assure you that is not the case, because there is simply not enough volume in the futures, right? Futures trading to manipulate the prices like what you might have seen so far. All right, so let's look at the smaller time frame. All right, so for intermediate, right now the resistance is again 1100 level. So keep an eye on that 1100 level. We need to break that 1100 level with a good volume, and we have this trend line that is coming up from the previous I think, when is it coming from? All the way from December time zone, and we have that previously that was a support. Now it's acting as a resistance. So we have a couple of resistance that's coming up on the upside, 1100, and then possibly this 1150 or 1200 mark, whichever we hit first on the trend line resistance that was a previous support. All right, but in my opinion, I think this chart is setting up very nicely. I see this double bottom pattern. If you just look at this thing, it almost looks like a W. If you see this right here, W right here, see that? So this W, in order for this W to pan out, we need to see the higher volume as a confirmation. And if we get this higher volume in the confirmation, we will see this all-time high fairly soon. All right, so right now we are sitting in this nice W pattern for intermediate. I feel like it might be it's ready to break out. The key resistance level right now is 1100, and then this trend line resistance, which is going to be around 1140, 1150 levels. All right, we want to see the higher volume again. I want to emphasize this thing. We want to see the higher volume. That will give the confirmation. I have started drawing this trend line from the 123 initial spike down we had, and we want to stay up over this trend line in the short term. All right, this is just for the short term, so we want to stay over this trend line in the short term for next at least few days. All right, so that's my analysis on Ethereum. If you have any questions, please post it in the comment. Tell me what you think about Ethereum. I want to see how other users like you, what do you guys think about Ethereum? What are the potential on the fundamental side? I see a lot of ICOs coming out with Ethereum technology, so I feel like there is already enough demand for this technology and this coin out there in the market. So fundamentally, I believe Ethereum is very strong. A lot of a lot of like startups, a lot of like ICOs, they're already using those platforms. So fundamentally, in my opinion, I feel like it's have very good fundamental. So I want to see it from the users like you. What do you think about Ethereum? All right. So that's it for today on Ethereum. If you think this video was helpful, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel. Please hit those notifications so you can get the content right away. All right, guys. Thank you so much. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye.